All right, team. Hey, Chuck here with Traders War Room. We're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll just add people in as they come in, and they can just join in wherever we get at. Guys, we got the lunchtime slump here coming to you. We're going to talk about used stocks, charts, and hopefully get some plans in motion so that we can make some money given this FOMC meeting minutes that are coming out, which got really people antsy on the direction of the marketplace and which way it's going. Guys, I do this free. All I ask is you let me do my intro, and then we go ahead and get started. You guys can start putting the tickers that you want to go over in the chat group. Please use block lettering, like for Apple, AAPL, or Tesla, TSLA. It really helps out when we're going through it, and we got a lot of commotion going. We got a bunch of people in here, so let's go ahead and get started. Without further ado, legal disclaimer, this is not financial advice. The content is for entertainment and education purposes only. You're responsible for every decision you make. We want you to have fun, use caution, and always go to war. Some services we provide at Traders War Room, free and paid services. Guys, I say again, free and paid services. We have a lot of great free things, especially in this market. A lot of people have lost money. We still want to provide some great tools out there until the market rebounds and you guys can start paying for the real-time buy and sell alerts so you can make some money. But we still want you to be engaged in the membership and into the team. So we offer these free services as well. But we got live trading, bell to bell. We got one-on-one mentoring. We got trading classes, a fantastic community. Check us out, traderswarroom.com, and you got the Discord link right there. Definitely worth your while to come just at least check us out and lurk around for a little bit. And when you're ready to make some money, come get it. Last week's stats, these are just mine alone, guys. Had a pretty fantastic week last week. We went ahead and got into 23 total trades, sold 20. We had 20 wins, 3 losses, 87% win rate. Our biggest one was the big boy, man, SPY, and patience paid on that particular one. We went ahead and took that for 1,500%. with over $1,300 per contract. And our highest loss was NEO at 100%. We went ahead and took the loss on that one because it was a cheap contract anyways, with an $88 loss. And like I said, guys, these are just me, and we have 25 other analysts and real-time bots that are pushing out alerts, guys. Definitely something for everybody. And right there, all kinds of styles, stocks, options, crypto, Forex, long, short, day, swing, leaps, you name it, we got it, guys. Definitely come check us out. Something for everyone, something for every style, and something for every budget. Come get some if you want some. Exciting things we got going on coming up. Promotions. So right now we got a 5-day trial with our gold membership. Guys, you come over to Traders War Room, you want to get some of these alerts, you activate a 5-day trial, you try it out, you like it, you stay. If you don't, you go back being an awesome free member. And then when you decide you want to come back onto the good side and make some money, you can always reactivate at any time. It's up to you guys, and the power is in your control. We also got a class coming up 19 June, $15 a pop, and you get to keep the recording, so you don't even need to be live if you can't make it live. But we hope you come there live because that's fun and entertaining. But we're going to teach you how to trade the strat, guys. So we want you to take the emotions out of your trading and learn to trade the strat. So what the strat trading strategy is, how to identify these trading bars, and how to take those emotions out of trading for consistent and greater gains. Again, 19 June, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, $15, and you get the recording. Check out the website right there. And it is on the website currently. All right, next class we have 26 June. We're going to teach you how to use margin for consistent income. Guys, a lot of new traders are in this margin thing, and they are beat up right now. So we want to get you guys back on track. And those of you that are interested in margin, we want you to at least have the fundamentals to learn how to trade and use margin to leverage your accounts properly. So we're going to teach you what margin is, how to effectively use it to leverage your trades, and how to use it to generate consistent income. I say again, how to generate consistent income, because it is possible, but you need to know what you're doing. Again, guys, we want you to build a plan. We hope you do that with Traders War Room. And this also is live on the site, ready for you guys to come over there and purchase it and get cracking. And we also got a whole bunch of historical classes. So check us out, see what we got, man. We got everything from basics all the way to spreads, all the way to technical analysis, you name it. We got something for you guys. They're all right there on the website. Definitely check it out. Invest in yourself in 2022 and get yourself some education. Also, for some of you guys that want less noise and just alerts, we got an instant messaging platform. Definitely something for those people that are tired of the dings and pings, guys. And the direct link is right there. So no more dings and pings, just simple alerts to make some money. If that sounds like something you're interested in, check it out today. The link's right there. You can also find it on the website. And the bottom line, guys, we're destroying the market no matter which direction it goes. We want you to quit wasting money that doesn't make money. We want you to invest in yourself in 2022. We hope you take Traders War Room along for the ride. And with that said, are you ready for war? I know I am. Put those tickers in the chat group, guys, because away we go. Just like that helicopter, we're about to go attack the market, and we're doing it together, guys. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and start off with SPY. And always staying consistent. Any of you guys that have done these before, you know how I roll. We're going to go ahead and do a bird's eye view approach. So we're looking at the day first. We got SPY open here because why? Well, SPY is pretty much a lot of the stocks that we're into, guys. And of course, we ended up gapping down. Look at this right here. We gapped down hard the past couple of trading sessions. Boom, 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 and kind of consolidating down here. Now, this is really dependent on what the FOMC meeting and the minutes at 14:30 have to say today, okay? Whether we go up, whether we go down. Anything more hawkish, we're going to go down, guys, okay? We're going to go down, and in order to see levels where we've had it previously, we have to go out even further into the weeks because we're looking at these levels down here, looking at 360s, maybe even 350s if we get that hawkish, more hawkish from, Speaker Powell. But if he keeps it consistent and we don't have any surprises and potentially it's already built in and baked into the market already, guys, I think we get a little bit of a relief rally, and I think we could potentially come up to the upside to try to clear this gap, at least go and test it. So definitely this FOMC meeting has a lot of important predictions with what we got going on in our trades. And we're going to pay attention to these very carefully because inside of SPY, a lot of those trades that we have, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla, AMD, NVDA, all those stocks that we love to trade are inside of this, and it will have huge implications on it. Okay, so we're definitely paying attention to that. Now let's go ahead and get into the stuff that you want. Look at this. All these stocks that you guys are putting in here, all these for the most part are in the SPY, guys. Okay, so I just want to make that a point. All the stocks we're interested in are in the SPY. So this is a huge implication for the NASDAQ, guys. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Microsoft. That's the first one that we got by Mr. Bobby over here. You're going to look at, oh, that's Morgan Stanley, excuse me. Here we go, Microsoft pushing it in. Of course, Microsoft looking like SPY, down, 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 two gaps in a row. Now we're consolidating a little bit. And look at this, we got a little bit of a push, okay? So yesterday, or excuse me, Monday when we did this, we had this level here, 253.62, and we had this bottom level, okay, of 233. We're looking like we're potentially wanting to push to the upside, and I think that we'll come up and try to test this area here, this 253 area. I think would be good. Now, obviously, if the talks don't go well, Microsoft is probably going to sync with the rest of them, and we can probably go back and look at these bottom levels here, 242, 240 for a retest of those lower levels. But if we get some decent movement, you guys can rest assured that Microsoft is going to take off, and we're probably going to start making our way trekking up towards this gap and trying to cover this gap, at least to go test it. Okay, so we're definitely paying attention to these levels here. I got them marked out here. We're looking at this 253 level, and we're looking at this level here, 240s. And if we can't hold this, then down we go into the 230s. So those are my levels for Microsoft. Go ahead and go into the next one. We got NVAX. Novak's looking okay. We're looking like we're pushing. So momentum's on our side, guys. These are my momentum bars. These are ones that I like to use. You could, to each their own. You can use whatever you like, but I like these 9 into 21 for momentum. Okay, looks like we're starting to curl and push up to the upside, and we're looking like we're wanting to test this 9 moving average. Now, I'm not completely bullish on this yet because in order for me to be completely bullish, I want to have a close above this. But when we look at this, this gets us exciting, okay? So we're starting to think, okay, we're pushing to the upside, calls. So now we need to go into the 5-minute chart and start to look to see what we got going on. And right now we can see that definitely looking pretty bullish, but we are starting to curl back down. So this is not the time to enter into longs, because right now we're below our 9 moving average, which is momentum on the day, and we're looking like we're wanting to test below levels of the 21, okay? Now on the day, it could potentially be a good one for a swing entry, but not looking for a day entry. So if we're looking to go long on this one, we want a little bit more to the upside, and we want to go out 2 to 4 weeks, okay? 2 to 4 weeks, safe, allowing things to mature a little bit and giving us some cushion so theta doesn't kick our butt. That's why we're pushing out a few weeks. All right, next one, CLF. All right, CLF. Again, bird's eye view, down, down, down. We're starting to see a floor here, some consolidation. This really isn't moving much. I think this is waiting on those minutes, okay? Anytime you see this type of pattern here, down, 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 we hit a floor, all right? Now, this is being tight right now on the day, and so it's kind of making a decision. It's gonna, you know, we're trying to decide what's going on. Got a little bit of a curve on the RSI, which is always good. We like to see a little bit more of a curve to the upside, and we'd like to see some crosses, specifically with the MACD or the SMI, which is usually a precursor cross to the MACD to give us that bullish intent. But if we start to see those crosses, we can definitely start to think long on this one, and at least coming up to test this lower level of the gap, hopefully clearing the gap to the upside. But definitely we're in a waiting pattern right now. I wouldn't be trading this because we're consolidating tight and we want to figure out what direction we're going on this. All right, Apple. You guys know I love some Apple. If you guys aren't, excuse me, if you guys aren't buying shares of Apple at these lower levels, you guys are nuts, okay? You need to be going long shares Apple, in my opinion. But we're looking like we're creeping back up. You know, even though we're on red days, we're still making small little moves like a boss on the low up to the upside, looking like we want to start clearing this gap. Apple is one of those that acts funny. It holds such a huge market cap inside of the SPY that and on the Q that whenever Apple moves, it's going to move the needles. Okay, so we're paying attention to Apple again. If we get some hawkish things from the Feds, Apple will probably suffer from that as well as a leader in the NASDAQ and on the Qs. But if we get some good news or some at the levels we're currently at, we're probably looking to clear this gap and going out. Now with Apple, I do like Apple long, but you need to push out 2 to 4 weeks, and that gets expensive. Okay, so you want to stay at the money, in the money as much as you can afford, but nothing too crazy out of percentages. Okay, because Apple moves big time in percentage, in money wise, but not in percentages. So if you go out of the money 10%, Apple may not move that 10%. It's going to move like 1, maybe 1.5. Okay, so stay at the money, in the money as much as you can afford, and you want to go out 2 to 4 weeks so that you give yourself some time for this to curl back to the upside. But indicators look good. RSI curling up, look like we want to curl up to the upside on the SMI, and the MACD's kind of spread out, but it's looking like it wants to get tight. So definitely it's still in a pattern of just waiting to see what happens. And this will be something we'll look at probably in Power Hour to see how it responds to the market and if we can catch something to the upside or to the downside. But I like to play Apple with calls, so I'm looking for something on the upside. Neo. Who's in that $21 put that we had on Neo, man? We made a killing off of that, guys. That was a fantastic trade. Looking like we're pushing, wanting to go test these higher levels up here. We got a little level right here, support 2024, looking like it wants to push it. It's gone up to test it. So we're definitely in the realm of continuing to the upside. But just like here, I think potentially Neo likes to go up to these upper levels, and then people like to take profits and sell out, okay? So I got a feeling that if we get up to this level and we don't get a huge increase to the upside, something like this, if you can see this right here, this evening star, if we get something like this evening star coming where we go up to the top, but we're real tight, we're probably going to look at some downward pressure, and this would be an indicator on to go short on the stocks. If you guys took my candlestick class, you guys would know exactly what this is. You see it here too, boom, upside, and you see this one here, boom, downside, guys. You're just going by the book on that one. So we're paying attention to it. Like I said, I think we come up, test this area. We got to see if we can hold this area with some decent movement and price action. But if we stay tight and just a little bit, then we're probably going to head down to the downside after the spike up. So don't get caught holding them heavy bags. All right, mRNA. All right, Moderna. So Moderna is a safe bet, guys. It's not moving around too much. You can look at this. This is what you call sideways movement. Even though you're downtrending, right, from here to here, right? Here recently, though, it's not the dramatic downtrend. Dramatic would be something like this, right? We're slowly trickling down, and now we kind of got some sideways movement inside of ranges. So let's go ahead and put some ranges out here real quick. Just doing just simple lines, giving us a range, okay? We don't go to the tippy tops. We go a little bit inside, so we're being conservative. And we're going right here. All right, so we got this range, and we got the sideways movement where it's pushing into these over here. Boom, 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 boom. Looks like we're probably going to start peaking up, testing this 9 moving average, go to the upside a little bit, and we probably got a little bit more before we hit that resistance. Resistance will probably come in on this to the upside around probably right about here. So we got a few dollar movement to the upside, in my opinion, that we could see. Definitely, if you like this, you need to go out 2 to 4 weeks. But I think that we get some bullish sentiment pushing to the upside before we start to see resistance and some cooling down a little bit before hopefully another run to the upside to go test these higher levels. All right, where are we at? QQQ. QQQ is going to look very similar to SPY, guys, okay? I mean, it has most of the same type of stocks, and it's the same concept with the Qs, okay? We came out of consolidation, dump, 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 and now we're consolidating at the downside at the shelf, waiting for a movement, which is going to be the catalyst for this particular stock and SPY. We're looking at potentially the Fed minutes and whatever Jerome Powell says. That's going to be catalyst, whether we go up to fill this gap or we come down. I do like Qs to come fill this, just like SPY. I'm bullish. I'm hopefully optimistic on the market. So I do like this to go to the upside and start to clear the gap here, at least test it at the bottom level. Maybe not go all the way up because it may not have enough juice, but at least come in here to test these lower levels of the gap, 283, 282, something like that. All right, DNUT. Donut. Krispy Kreme, guys. Who loves their Krispy Kreme donuts? A lot of people do. I like this stock more for shares. I don't even know if it has options, but I like this for shares. Shares long specifically. I think this is a decent one. When people start to get, they still get the morning things, as long as these don't get crazy and you're paying $2 for a donut. I think the donut places will be just fine, because when people get depressed, they want coffee and they want sweets. And Krispy Kreme is one of those depressing things for Mondays in corporate America. So I do think that they continue to the upside. I think Krispy Kreme has a good business model. I paid attention to what their CEO is saying and their business model, and I think they got something going for the forward-looking future. So I do like these guys long. I think share accumulation at these areas are perfect. If you want to go into something more, I'd wait for a little bit more push to clear these moving averages, to be honest with you. But definitely, like I said, shares at this price, in my opinion, are good to go. And I'm definitely would be liking to accumulate shares. Looks like it may even have earnings coming up here pretty soon in the next couple months. Just had earnings in May. So we're looking maybe in July or August, they'll have some earnings. So we could see an uptrend, or at least some small trickling going into their earnings in the next couple months. BBB long put. BlackBerry long put. Let's see. Now, BlackBerry is going to move sideways. Okay, BlackBerry is one of those, it's slow moving stock like Nokia. Okay, you're not going to get much movement on it. So unless you're going, I don't even know what the trades look like. Let's see what options look like. Do they even have like $1 and stuff options? So it looking like, talking about puts. So yeah, I guess you could go into like these smaller dollar amounts here. But what I want you to understand is, with these particular stocks, these are moving sideways at slow paces. I mean, yes, it's downtrending, but it's not very rapid. Okay, so theta is going to come kicking your butt in, right? So just be cautious when you're going in here. We get a couple levels here. These are just quick levels, right? Boom. And we got a little area here, about $1 movement inside of here where it can bounce around. Looks like it's bullish to the upside and trying to clear this gap that it has here. So I would hold off on some puts until we see if we can test this gap, maybe get a little bit more up to the upside, and then I'd come in with your puts if that's what you want to do, and pushing out for a leap or a mini leap. Not a bad idea, but I don't see us having much more downward sized, maybe into the 4s, but nothing lower than that, because it'll hold this line pretty stable. M, is that for Macy's? All right, here we go. Macy's. All right, Macy's is actually, for being one of those stores that is transitioning to online and out of brick and mortar sales. They're only going to keep a few brick and mortar at places that they can actually make some money and people are spending money. Macy's is doing pretty good. Looks like we're tracking back up on our way to go testing these previous highs that we had here. 23. So this could be a potential something to go in. The dividend just paid off. Let's see what happens when dividends historically happen in this particular stock, just because we want to get a little thing. So here's a dividend, and we see that after the dividend, it runs up before it consolidates, and then we start to see the downward trend going into earnings again, and then going through the dividends. So we can see a similar pattern, a little push up, a retest of this higher level, and then probably a little bit of cool down period, probably looking to clear this gap here to the downside before another spike back up. So definitely paying attention to that. Could have a little bit, maybe $1, $2 movement to the upside, as it's just paid off the dividend, and historically it has about 2 to 5 day movement to the upside after. AVGO. All right, look at that. So anytime you see stocks like this, okay, you need to start thinking it's an expensive stock. A lot of people are looking at these as inflated stocks and things of that nature. Now, this is probably, pretty close to its fair value of it. I'm curious on what it looked like before. Let's go ahead and go out a little bit. So we had a peak over here, 655. What did we look at before? So over here, 2021, and then we got pandemic levels. So it's held off pretty well compared to some of the other stocks that have already dumped down to these pandemic levels. Held off pretty well. Okay, so we got a little bit of momentum on the side. However, we still got a lot more room that we could come back down to the downside. So I'm a little bearish on this one. I think we come up to test this gap here. We test this lower level. Depending on what happens, we already had earnings, so we're probably in a cool down period. We come up here, we test this, and then we come back down to the downside because we got about $150 to the downside before we start reaching those pandemic levels a couple years ago. So we do have some downside, and I do think that we get a little bit of bearish sentiment on this because it's pretty expensive, and people are starting to think these expensive stocks need to come back down to lower levels so big money can buy in. So basically push up to the upside, retest this lower level of the gap, probably get rejected, and then break this current shelf that we have here to the downside. LCID. Lucid. All right, Lucid. It's been kind of doing the same thing as some of the other ones, right? Sideways movement. And we got a little bit of sideways movement currently, and it looks like it wants to clear this gap. Now, Lucid's going to move on any type of EV news. So if Tesla's moving, Lucid's moving. If NIO's moving, Lucid's moving. If any of those bigger name EV makers and charge point plug and stuff like that are moving, Lucid's going to move along with them until they start to really. You start to see the stuff in the news about Lucid, manufacturing, pushing out cars and stuff like this. This isn't going to be doing much. I mean, we got a little bit of movement here, 20 to 13, but right now the main bulk of the range that we have currently is between, 16 and about 19. So about $3 of range movement. So I think we're pretty good on that one. Come up to test this gap, hopefully clear it, maybe come up to retest the moving averages, but then we'll probably cool down a little bit more from people profit taking and probably spike back down. So, Lucid is just a speculative in nature at this time. Take the course, and then we see the link for the replay. Please advise. Hey, David, hit me up via direct message in Discord, and I'll get you squared away, man, with your question. All right, guys. Hey, looks like we don't got any more questions. Just a few other ones that I want to go over. Basically, before we end this, I want to talk about XLE. All right, so this is one of those energy stocks. Okay, XLE, guys. So right now, the oil and gas and things of that nature, XOM, CVX, VOL, all those ones. This is an energy sector that you want to pay attention to. We're at a cool down period right now, but this is only cooling down for a little bit, guys. This is gonna reverse sooner than later, and it's gonna come back up to test these higher levels. So start thinking about these particular stocks, because look, here's the volatility. It's wide, it's wide, it's wide, and now we're getting tight. Okay, so we're looking potentially for a little bit more downward pressure, maybe even clearing this gap. I don't think we get there. I think we find support down here, probably a little bit lower, maybe 80. 81, something like that, a $1 or $2 movement, and then we're probably going to reject that and push to the upside to start moving back into the moving averages. So paying attention to XLE and the underlying stocks that are part of this would be important, specifically if you think oil and gas and things of that nature are good investments long, which prices just keep going up. So, you know, that's one of the things that's telling me to go long on these particular stocks and average down on dips. All right, we got a couple more things. Can you go over Roblox, RBLX, RBLX? All right, Roblox. Look at the same thing. If you notice, a lot of these are in this trend, guys. We got our little range, right? We're inside this range, looking like we're trying to peek up on the outside. Now, Roblox is funny. Okay, so it's summertime. A lot of kids are doing those, you know, the online platform. I know my youngest is doing it. He loves Roblox. But here's the deal. They get a lot of their money from Robux, which when the dollar is strong, the currency exchange changeover is bad for the business because they have a lot of people on other places in the world that are buying Robux and they got to convert it to American dollar cash. So they're losing money on what they call points as far as Robux. So we're just paying attention to that and just make sure that we're looking at these and watching them because Robux could definitely go. It's low and it's a great place for buy. You saw I put shares in already, you know, adding to my position and averaging down on dips, but it's sensitive to the dollar. So if the dollar is surging, this thing is going to probably do fairly less well because it has a lot of that money that's coming from overseas. And that's just based off of a report I saw. And that's, you know, I'm not an economist, but I think that makes sense to me personally, but definitely following the trend. I do like it. We're about to clear this 9 EMA or the 9 moving average. And if we can close above that on a 5-minute or 15-minute chart, that'd be fantastic. And that'd be a place to potentially go in long 2 to 4 weeks out. All right. Yeah. And just so someone just hit me, there's a lot of imposters out there, guys. Hey, listen, Traders War Room, anybody from my core, me, Chuck Fu, all those things, we're not going to ask you guys about auto trading or Binance or any type of BS like that. Okay. So don't get hooked into those imposters, man. You know, play around with them, see how far the rabbit hole goes or report them, you know, but don't get sucked into those because they are out. And these guys are all from like India and Cambodia and like Laos and stuff like that. Okay. So they're all working for crypto and they're just coming out in force, pushing all this BS information out. So don't get sucked into that, guys. All right. Hey, appreciate you guys for coming along with us on the journey. Chuck Fu with Traders War Room. Guys, remember, come check us out, man. It does nothing to come check us out over at traderswarroom.com or on the Discord. We got free and paid services, something for everybody. Definitely worth your while to come check us out, see what we're about, and get some good information. As always, we look at the stock market like a war zone. Stocks and sectors are a battle. We do it together as a team, attack, conquer, destroy, and we're always going to war. And if that sounds good and you're ready to rock it with us, then all we got to say to you is follow me and let's go to war together. Later, y'all.